Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a good old-fashioned rogue mage video. It's been a little while since we've done some sub-rogue, especially going in hardcore. So we are switching our gear over, so we're in half outlaw gear, half sub-rogue gear. We're still working on it. That being said, we are swapping over back to rogue, especially sub-rogue specifically. Assassination and outlaw are kind of just bad. They just don't do any damage and they can't finish a kill. At least assassination is at least viable with like an affliction warlock, but like honestly, rogue in general right now is really not that great. It's good when you put it with like a boomy or something or mage. You know, if you're playing an actual real comp, but like when you come down to just like uh playing some random stuff, it just does not feel great. That being said, we end up immediately taking out the ret. And by the way, these guys were flexing the good old-fashioned gladiator mounts. So I've faced this Windwalker priest probably 3 times today, throughout the day and then at night. Now the biggest issue is their immunity. So while they may not be the greatest, they do a lot of things that actually make them pretty solid for the rating. Um, I think I end up doing a misplay too, so it's like it's not like I do everything perfect either. So here we end up sapping. We do an opener on this guy here. So we get Trinket. I try to go for the resap. He gets PS. So we get Trinket, PS. At this point, we have pre-evasion. He gets a really, really good sheep, and then he domes. The reason this dome's bad is because our damage is already done. Um, Thankfully, this mage is actually really good with peeling. He knows exactly when to do his sheeps. As you can see, we literally pre-vanish the stun. Anytime a Windwalker's trying to get close to you and he has stun, it means he's trying to do his burst. So here we do a go here. So we do a smoke bomb go. He actually takes negative damage. My guy gets a really insane sheep. We get Trinket. Once we get Trinket, we get out. So your main goal is to get a cooldown and then get out. So we got double Trinket. We got every cooldown in the game. So the next go should be the game winner. And we have blind. So all we have to do is pretty much pre-sheep the Windwalker, blind the priest, and then open it. Here we end up getting a pre-sap. We sap again, and then we just kill him right here. You think he would die. Normally, he would die here. He actually ends up surviving. So we do so little damage that we actually weren't able to finish the kill. Normally, we would have been able to finish, but it is what it is. So we still have blind. Now, this is why you want to be Night Elf, because even if it's for that second, you gotta run. Like, it gives you just enough time. So here I end up gouging. He gets a really good sheep. The game's pretty much over even still. So here we blind him. The game's over. Even if, you know, he's just dead. The guy's on the other part of the pillar. He gets sheeped. It's over. This guy has 0 cooldowns. He gets taken out. It is a very close game, but he actually didn't get a play. If you look at his damage, we literally were evading him the entire game. And that's usually why I would prefer going mage over the rogue. Because when you're playing with a priest, you're able to do a lot, a lot of things differently. You're able to MD block. You're able to purge his altar time. There's a lot of things that you can do differently. We faced Feral H-File probably 12 times tonight. And I will tell you, you should never win versus any of these comps. The only comp that you should win against is Windwalker Priest just because it's a Windwalker. But any of these guys should just dominate. It should be the easiest win. So here we end up opening on the Mistweaver. Now we did a little miscommunication here at the start. So while we get a really good opener, we get Trinket, Orb. Now I forgot that every healer has immunities now. So Wrestle Druids, H-Files, Mistweavers, Priest. Everyone has immunity now. So if you're wondering where my blind went, Mistweavers and Windwalkers have a thing to where they cannot be CC'd in any way, shape, or form during the time. So that's kind of unlucky. So here we do our little go here, and this is really just to stack up our Shadow Dance because that's just a fake go. So here we kidney, then we do a sheep go. So again, perfectly set up here. This is not necessarily to kill, but if we do kill him, it's great. And he almost ends up dying. Again, if this was any other class in the game, he was dead. I'm obviously in Outlaw Gear 2 at this point in time. So, we're not going to be hitting as hard as we normally should. So we're in a really bad situation right now. We need to win on the next go. So he lines perfectly. So here is our last go. We win the game here or we lose. So here I'm getting ready to do a stun here. I vanish to get to him, get a full kidney, and we make sure we kidney him because my cheap shot, I don't have enough time to do any damage. So we end up taking him out just in the pretty much nick of time. As you can see, my mage is still going to be dying. Dampening, the new damp effects that they added are making mages almost unplayable in CV2 Arena. Especially as rogue mage. Before it was already hard enough, but now they made it even harder. Because dampening affects your heal block and your shield healing. So we're not getting any healing out of our effects. So it's really just, you have 2 goes or you lose the game. That being said, we end up just killing him just in time to where we were able to win the game. So this is still very scary for us. And this is a situation where you need a line. A lot of people would be going out there attacking this guy. Don't do that. Wait until the DR comes, or if you absolutely have to save him. As you can see, my guy got silent stunned. That's when we absolutely have to come out. Because if he kills my guy and there's a chance that he survives, it's really bad. This is a situation where we beat these guys, and again, we queued into him so much. Normally, this comp is the one comp that you won't be able to beat. There's survival ability is too strong. When you put Bear and you put it with an H-Pal, it ends up being just an immortal spec. So here we end up getting Trinket, Wall, Skin, pretty much every cooldown in the opener, which is really good. We're trying to get Trinket from the H-Pal. He actually ends up trinketing my blind. So thankfully we ended up getting double Trinket because we were going to be in really big trouble if we didn't. If he was, and he could have hold. I'm not even sure why he trinketed. If it was me, I would have held. That being said, all he would have to do here is Trinket or just bubble. So if we get him in cat form, this is a full sheep, and no other world, shape, or form does this guy not bubble. He ends up bubbling my cheap shot. That just goes to show you the level of players that there are in the game still. And we would never have a chance versus these guys. This is a game where we should never be able to win. It shouldn't be close, but there are situations where you'll get games like this where you actually get a really good outplay, and they just don't know what to do. This is another prime example of an outplay, and this one was by my mage mainly. This is where Ice Wall can either save you or absolutely destroy you. Thankfully, we have it on our side, so we're waiting the sap. Anytime you're playing with a mage or anyone in stealth, always look for the sap. The moment that Pharaoh comes out of stealth, which is now, he ends up getting me out. We preemptively gouge him. He trinkets my gouge, which is insane for us. So here we get a full wall. I get a smoke bomb late. This guy is toaster oven. He is dead. There's no chance he lives here. That's why you don't trinket first global. Any player that does that is just asking to die in the opener just like that. It was more so on the Pharaoh's fault than it was the H-Files. This is a game that I love to see. Anytime you face a wrestler dude, go the wrestler dude. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, the wrestler dude has to be the one to die. Because if you do not go him, he will just infinitely heal their teammate. And you only have like 2 or 3 goes. As Rogue Mage, you're looking to kill as fast as possible. You got to kill whoever's going to die quickest. So here we're going to do an opener on the Windwalker. Now it's a fake go, so it's not actually, full sending him. But we're looking for the kidney. So we're saving that kidney shot for the healer. Easy. We got Trinket, we got Skin. Every cooldown in the game, we actually end up almost killing him. We're going to finish up our flag go so we can get Shadow Dance back. And then off that, now we're running. So we're immediately vanishing, getting out of there. And now we're waiting. My mage just needs to run away and just CC the Windwalker. We're going to bide our time. The Windwalker doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to find me. And this is the point where they lose the game. We get double Trinket. I could literally just blind. But here I instead have him DB and we win the game here. So I did cheap shot here. I would originally say to kidney shot. But if you think that he's going to die, go for it. Again, kidney shotting is just going to be overall better. Because you're going to be able to get more pressure off. But that being said, pretty much a no-brainer. We pretty much won the game as easy as that. They didn't get a single cooldown. And that's just the power of classes that are bound by Trinket. Kind of like what me and mages are in 2v2 Arena. If you Trinket bad, you will lose. That's how it should be. It's kind of like Mop Arena, which I might end up playing. We'll see. But we end up getting a free dub here. Now, there's a game here. I was playing with a different mage. And I will tell you a few things of what we can do better. So we're facing a mage. Anytime a mage faces a rogue, you should be running Blink Stun. In 2v2 Arena, specifically, not in anything else. So here we sap. We're going to swap the sap. We're going to open here, get a really good opener. He trinkets immediately. He blinks. He alter times. We're going to go through that. Now, if we can spell steal that, he probably would have died here. We actually end up doing that, I think. So that was really good. So we end up almost killing him. No, he actually gets the full alter back. So he actually would have been dead. Unfortunately, my when I rely on my tab, if I'm not looking at them, it won't switch the target. So what you just saw there was me trying to blind the H-Pal, but ended up blinding the mage. My guy ends up triple DR sheeping. I didn't notice that until right now. So now I'm like, okay, well, what do we do now? And that's worst case scenario for us, because this is our go where we would have got his trinket, and my guy still has block. So we would have got his trinket, and then the next go we would have killed, or we would have got second block. So they end up getting block out of us, and now I'm just kind of sitting out there doing nothing. At this point, we preemptively gouge. I'm getting a kidney shot. He has the fear, or he has the sheep at least. So we get a good sheep here, and we get blocked. So perfect. Now we run again. Again, unfortunately we didn't get trinket, but we did get block. Block's way better than getting trinket any day of the week. So here the mage ends up trying to find us. We end up getting away. At this point, we're looking to sap the mage. Now, we could have waited a little bit and maybe would have got the full sap, but it's not a big deal. The main goal is to try to delay the inevitable, which is them attacking us. So at this point, again, we're opening again. So cheap shot, sheep, and I'm going to stop the mage. So here we get a really good opener. He probably is going to bubble. Yep, he gets a really good bubble. We're going to apply rupture, and we're running again. At this point, my mage should already be out of there. He should be behind the peeler and waiting AFK. So now we have to do another go. This next go is going to be based on getting trinkets. And this is kind of what you have to do as Rogue Mage versus these type of comps, which should never lose, but somehow I come out of stealth. And I don't know if this has been happening to you guys. I am randomly coming out of stealth from nothing. There was no bleeds on me. There was nothing on the ground. I'm randomly coming out for no reason. So here we get a full kidney here. Unfortunately, I had to just rely on my mage to sheep. He doesn't end up getting the sheep. So here I cheap shot for him. He spell steals Bop, I think. So he gets a sheep and then he spell steals. Now he just has to resheep his trinket. And he gets a really good resheep and we end up winning the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys thought about this video. It's been X, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.